and you would be, even though it is a graveyard for planes, I would assume that they would be flying in to some degree.
Yeah. So and I was getting that kind of mix of man-made and natural stuff. So um,
Yeah.
it
So
looks like there's some sheet metal type hangar buildings there, which isn't too different than my kind of stripy line structure thing. That's cool.
yeah, and I just want to kind of cruise through the video here. Wow,
Qantas,
there's a,
good airline. Flew on one of those to Australia once.
yeah. So um
Yeah, there's
if
ladders. There's a
you
ladder
see
going into that little one there.
you see the mountain ranges in the background.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Um
cool.
so Mojave, air and space. That was pretty, I mean, for a quick little session at the end of the night, man. Um I would say that's pretty fucking remarkable.
Cool. Yeah, that's not bad. I've had worse sessions for sure. Cool.
Nature, animals, cowboy stuff. Um,
I bet there's some
Mojave
cowboy
Desert.
stuff that goes on out there.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's the Mojave Desert. Of course, there's cowboy stuff that's happening out there.
yeah. So you got your mountains. You got yeah. So that was probably the airplane that this circle was alerting me to. This is any kind of pointed thing like that, and an ideogram is usually a structure. But yeah, and then yeah, these little scraggly plants. I said move to the tall feature, but it gave me these plants, so I don't know. I'm just all over the place, I guess, today.
Yeah, well, yeah, the tall feature would, I mean, there's not too many tall features around there.
AOL cliff looks kind of like the word aircraft.
Craft
A,
almost.
yeah, it looks like aircraft almost there. That's funny. That happens a
Just,
lot. My writing will contain hints of stuff, and I won't catch it. Like that happens all
oh,
the time.
wow, that is actually really weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Or I'll write one word. I'll think a word, but I'll write a different word, and they both end up making sense in some way. So
Brown,
it can,
blue, and white.
yeah, colors are like the thing that I almost always nail. That's why I
Painted.
start with them.
Painted.
Pointed, but also painted. So sure. Rugged, land. Yeah, pointed was what that was meant. Yeah, I felt like there was a sense of space and that it was natural. So there was a lot of space out there in the Mojave Desert.
Yeah, and it's
Acrid and
natural.
arid and dusty. Certainly
Yeah.
some of that.
Oh, look.
Um,
Oh, look. It's
what's that?
surrounded by a windmill farm.
Oh, no way. That's
Dude, get the
funny.
fuck out of here.
So maybe that's what I was picking up with this, all these swirly, pointy things and the tall
Huh.
feature. Maybe that was the tall feature then. Now that you're telling me that, that counts as feedback. So, yeah, wild.
Can you see him in the distance?
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. That's funny.
They might
And
not be
they're
windmills,
they're
but
kind of
there's
like
something.
trees,
Yeah.
windmill trees. That's funny.
But you can see that it
Wow. Yeah, that's
stretches
fun.
for, it looks like a windmill farm, to be honest.
It still blows my mind every time I do one of these and any of it comes back accurate. Like it
Yeah, man.
it's
We'll
still
have to,
weird to me. Like
what we'll,
however many years later. It's really cool
well,
though. It's so fun.
what we'll have to do is we'll have to record one of these in the morning,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
fresh, and then premiere it at night and do the review at night.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, do the session in the morning, record it, and then play it while you and I go through it after as a reflection at night after some odd hours.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And that
cool, man.
could be interesting. But I did want to shout out your work, man, because I've been going through some of the stuff that you did for the movie for me, and
Oh yeah.
things that have been standing out, that you don't even know about. So um,
Cool.
just if I could recommend anyone take his class, um, what is it? Rockstarintuition.com.
That's it. Yeah. I got
So
a yeah. It's about 3 and a bit hours of video stuff. You can kind of do it at your own pace, or you can go crazy and go all the way through it in 30 days and transform your energetic system into a remote viewing powerhouse.
yeah, because
But
we got. I mean,
you know, it's a good time, better time than any to be able to use your intuition to sift through bullshit. So, um,
yeah,
you know,
I do. I think I do. We all gotta ask. Do you do? Have, have you ever remote viewed something that like truly scared you to the point where you were like, never again
um, I
will I
did
go
have
back
some
there?
weird stuff happen a couple of times. I've had some weird stuff, but it's probably because I did not know anything about energetic protection. So you need to kind of, I've seen some people talking about the Monroe Institute in the chat. Like it's good to pick up a practice like their, resonant energy balloon, or really just like visualize this kind of protection around you. Um, that's part of why I wear the headband when I do this stuff, is because like I feel like the geometry of the paisley is, it helps me connect and calibrate, and having the mandala behind me and stuff like that. It all kind of feeds into it. But um, yeah, you got to have an intention that you are protected and that nothing is going to mess with you, and you got to, it helps to have a meditation practice and kind of understand chakras and energy and things like that, which we don't have time to go into today. But you if you're not good at protecting your own energy and keeping your own energy uh, solid, other stuff can kind of get in and mess with you. Um, and like I've gotten haunted by stuff before for sure. I've had one of the first in the first few days of remote viewing, I had this really freaky kind of feeling that like someone was watching me, or uh, I don't know. I see Cowboy Dave 2 in the chat there. Is that what Havana syndrome is? Is that is that when you or is that something else? Josh said sometimes.
That's Havana.
Yeah.
Was when you're targeted by like when you're targeted by a direct energy weapon is what they think, or
Oh.
some
Yeah,
form of it.
you get weird kind of vibes from stuff, and I've been doing like ghosts and stuff. I've woken up to like little creepy orbs with like black spidery lightning in them, just kind of zipping around. Um, most like nothing's
You
gonna
don't
hurt
ever
you. You
freak
you'll
the
you get,
fuck
you'll get a
out?
jump scare, you know. Well, sometimes it's like whoa, I haven't had one of those in a while actually. Even when if I'm
Dude,
doing
if I woke
hauntings
up
and
to an
stuff
orb in my
nowadays,
room,
I feel like I'm separated from it now. I have like this kind of wall that I see the stuff through and I can feel through it, but it can't really mess with me. Um, geez, like half of the psychic guys podcast is in the chat right now. Live raid. That's funny.
live raid, baby.
Yeah, but
But
yeah.
no,
So I mean, you can get
I've had
haunted
a
by stuff, but like if you know how to not get haunted, then it won't haunt you. It's part of the learning curve, and it can help to do just a meditation where you kind of visualize this energy bubble around you or whatever you want to do, and just imagine it being strong, and you can do it with intention. You can write down some stuff and say like. I go into this session. I am protected. I do this session inside a perfect model of the universe. I'm not actually going out into the universe to get the information. I'm just working in this model. And so nothing can get to me because I'm not even out there. I'm in here and I'm working in this model. And the model is exactly the same as the real universe. So everything in it is still correct. That I think Julia Mossbridge told me about that one. She's a neuroscientist and remote viewer and general rock star. She's got a really cool book on this stuff called the Premonition Code, which she co-wrote with a dream researcher. So it's kind of a good mix of creative writing and technical writing. So if you like your science to be a little bit more artsy, it's a great book for people just kind of digging into this stuff, sort of more general, not super specific on nerding out remote viewing stuff, but better for a sort of general audience who wants to get into this kind of stuff.
Well, that last question is, do you think dreams are like, I often wonder if dreams are portals into, I don't know, like another reality. Like what are the reason for them, and could
Yeah,
they be
I see the dream space as kind of like the holodeck in Star Trek or something like that. It's like it's dream space is within you. Um, this is my personal opinion. I don't know if this is actual or not, but this is kind of what feels right to me. But you've got your dream space, which is your own kind of inner projection where when you're asleep, the 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 subconscious kind of plays a movie for you that you get to participate in, and it's always that inner dream vision
mm,
is it's always your subconscious trying to tell you some stuff. Sometimes it's just trying to process junk that you need to process, but a lot of the time if I remember a dream, it almost always is something that has some information for me. There's something that I
well,
should kind of take away from it. It's usually symbolic because the subconscious loves symbolism. That's kind of its main language that it speaks in is symbolism. So um, you'll that's why you write your AOLs down off to the side when you're doing a structured session. And I didn't do any stage four stuff in the session tonight, but stage four is kind of when you're deeper in the session, you kind of go and you take one element of like one of those AOLs, one of those symbols, and you like deconstruct it, bit by bit, and you kind of harvest. I mean, I did that, I guess, initially when I got that cliff face kind of visual that I had out in the desert, which I guess was where we are or where we were. So I deconstructed that and I was like, okay, it's a cliff and it's brown and it's sandy and it's dirty and it's dusty and whatever. So you harvest those things to get more data points, and you put it out in a big matrix, and it's like what are the sensory information about it? What are the tangible things about this aspect? What are is there anything weird here? Is like what's the energy like of this thing? But yeah, it's
very fascinating.
dreams are one thing, and then there's astral projection, which is another thing where I think that's when you're moving to out to different dimensions or whatever. But the dream space I think is kind of like a sort of a sacred inner space where you get to have your own sort of holodeck or whatever, and your subconscious can put on projections of whatever it needs you to learn or know in any given time. And I've gotten actionable, useful information from dreams lots of times.
I have as well.
You know, I've
I
had
like
I've met people who have died in my dreams, that like friends that have passed that have come to me in dreams, and it's just been this like really nice reconnection, like hey, I'm okay, it's all good. um, and you get closure from stuff like that. It's dreams are interesting.
Yeah, man. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I had a
And
dream where my mom, who's been passed away since 4/3/21, it was the day before Easter 2021,
oh wow.
and um I was standing next, like across from her, and in the back of her was her childhood home, and the tree out front had these beautiful um pink blossoms that only happened during that spring time, like that Easter time. So
Is it like a cherry, or what's it
yeah,
called, sand cherry?
like it's like a blue. Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but it blooms these gorgeous, like I'm colorblind, but it looked pink.